Just touch the starter. Yeah, I think it's on here.
Because it turned. Should I try it?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. Mike Chamberlain here, Peterbilt Mike. Maybe we should call me Cab Over Mike soon, but anyways, on this episode of Peterbilt Mike, I am going to see if I can get the cab jacked up on Stubby, and Dad's here actually giving me a hand, pulling the cab jack off of K2, and we're gonna put it on, or try to put it on Stubby to see if we can get him to air up, see if he'll start without starting fluid for a second time, because I gotta get firewood. You know what? It's a nice day, it's a warm day, but it's October 24th today, and winter's coming. I think the end of next week, they might even be calling for snow, which seems kind of hard to believe right now. But it's that time of year, and you know what? Got a soft spot going into the field, so I'm thinking, get my truckload of wood dropped right here. It's gonna make a mess, but it's gonna be a lot easier to bucket, split it, stack it, stuff the woodshed full, because I think we're gonna need a lot of wood to heat that shop in the winter, because I'm gonna shoehorn 3 cab overs into that shop. How am I gonna do it? With a shoehorn. So anyways, here's Stubby, AKA Little Deck. And you know what? I don't think I can call him Little Deck for too long, because we're gonna cut that little deck off too. Maybe we should call it Bobbit, because we're gonna cut its little deck off. But yeah, it's got the 4 lines, so we're just gonna try putting the jack on it and figure out where these lines go. Put a little bit of time. Anyways, use some brake clean, clean it up, get it on here, and see if we can't figure out how to make this thing go. Well, we'll know how to make it go, but gotta get the jack up. Gosh, losing my mind. We have to get the cab up to see what's going on with the engine. Sometimes English is hard for me. Yeah, what do you do? A little dyslexic, you know. Maybe mama dropped me. Well, you know what? When I was born, they didn't know about smoking and drinking when pregnant. Mom never smoked. Pretty sure she liked a cocktail now and then. Anyways, let's go see how Dad's making out. How are you making out?
Just about got her. Of course, made a mess.
Oh well. We'll put down some environmentally friendly mats, because this is environmentally friendly vegetable oil. Yeah, that's the case.
Don't eat them, Elmer. Them's horse turds.
Boy, you sure do good work.
Just not much of it.
There you go. So for anybody that's new to the channel, this is my dad, Jim. And Dad's been trucking for, when did they invent trucks? No,
57 years.
57 years. Only 57 years.
I still haven't learned anything. I'm still working on tracks.
Oh yes, but this is going to be the Piece de Resistance show truck K100 Aerodyne one day. It's going to make the BJ and the Bear truck look like, well, it's going to look like a BJ and the Bear truck.
It looked like a monkey operation. Okay, lad. We now have a cab jack.
Now we just have to figure out how to make it work.
Actually, that's the easy part.
I think I might have, well, I don't know if my fittings will, I think we'll have to pull those fittings out of it. So now I just have to pull these fittings off and make a T. Because the Pete has 4 lines going to it, then the Kenworth only had 2. And this is basically the exact jack that I bought off of Parts Direct that I haven't seen yet. So that is that. So this will screw in there like that. Beautiful. This is pretty exciting. Did you get her? I said it's pretty exciting. I really should be the one under there. But I'm not.
could put something on your YouTube of what you should be doing it, but some silly old bastard just dives underneath.
So I'll get, I'll crack that that line and start jacking and fill it with oil.
In some ways, it's better with, because it's tipped down a little bit to where it was. I don't know. As long as we can get it up.
Yeah.
You might have to drive it with the cab up.
Give it a little blue pill, that'll help get it up.
Yeah.
So that's raised. I think I'm gonna have to use a shorter and put some oil in here. Using ATF for hydraulic fluid.
Yeah.
Probably leave that off. The line is pushing out. I don't know if that's right or not. Okay, that's
Well, try flipping the switch and going the other way.
Well, I'm just
You reach in there, you can almost feel it in. I was just going to say flip the switch, start jacking the other way. Maybe we're trying to jack it down.
well, the kicker is it pulls out, so this rubber boot is coming out, which makes me think that that's right.
Something is straining. You can hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the reverse.
Okay. Like a dumbass, it should have been watching that cylinder.
I almost think when that goes in though, that'll lock, and when it pops out, that means it's unlocked.
Yeah, but there's nothing in behind that boot. Like, you know, you can't feel anything in the boot, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's probably like a slave cylinder.
It could be. Try jacking it the other way and see what happens.
Check this out. It's going up. It's not the easiest spot, and I had to hillbilly a bracket, but first time this cab has been up in since 2005, I'm sure. All right, let's take a look. All right, can see this lock is, actually looks like somebody made that so they didn't have to go so high. There's the alternator, fan, a few chunks missing. How's this look? Oh, Jesus. That's rusted right out.
What's that?
Oh, the air intake for the heater is rusted right out. Okay, so there's a... Dang it. This is going to be a bigger job than I thought, I think. Air conditioning stuff. How's that look? It's fairly rusty. How's the engine look? Oil filter's got a bit of oil around it. It's got air-to-air piping. That's good. It's got some... alternator looks crooked. Oh, that's why it's not charging. The belts are broken.
What's that?
The alternator belts are broken.
Oh.
And the alternator seized. That might do it. Now, I wonder if the alternator's seized and not spinning, if that would cause it to not register. Or, well...
No, it
should still work with the dead alternator. Let me see down there. That's an oil filler tube, which is... yeah, that's not good for business. So that's been robbed too, because that should be going up to there. But then this tube's rusted out, so it was just bent down.
What's been robbed?
Oh, the filler, because that's the oil fill tube.
Oh.
What's the other side look like? Oh, and let's look in here. Yeah, see, this is better. Low and slow's broken here, which obviously, oh yeah, this one, there you can see a weld there. But this isn't all pulled out. So that looks better. This side's all original, so that side's better. That looks good. I think. That's the airlines. Your air intake. Here's our compressor. Well, that might do it. The oh no, it's over here. There's a governor. That's a fuel filter. ECM. Fuel line off the ECM. I don't know why I said fuel line off the ECM, because it doesn't have a fuel line on the ECM, but no belt on the air conditioner, which makes me think it crapped out many moons ago. That looks okay. I don't think that's rusted out. Bunch of air lines. Now this big line goes to where? Why is that disconnected?
Which one?
Well, this one right here. I don't know if that's and there's another one here. Oh, that's a fuel line. Oh, that's to this other fuel thing.
Yeah. Raycor. The Raycor is disconnected.
So that's...
Is that disconnected up there?
Yeah, but if that goes to the Raycor, that makes sense. The Raycor on the other side.
Well,
because this line here looks like it goes down there.
oh, yeah, okay.
This block is fairly rusty. It's not really bad for oil though, I don't think. There's a bracket covering the emblem.
We should spray this lock with WD. It's fairly rusty.
Well, that's the downside to where it was sitting. My other concern is these ECM plugs, but I mean, I guess if it runs,
I wouldn't play with them, personally.
certainly not right now, I guess. But I wonder, how do you tell if the compressor's...
Well,
Oh, I guess you could crack, or no, that's a fuel pump dummy.
yeah, the top line there.
Oh, this one here.
No. Well, yeah, that one. But see, you have to engage the compressor, and that's what that line at the top.
Oh, yeah.
We should pull that. There's 2 bolts there, and there's a plunger in there, and it gets stuck.
Oh.
And it'll either make too much air or not enough.
Well, and it was not letting it air up even when I aired it up. It was just like it had a dead leak, but
Yeah, we'll see.
would it go back through or
Good. Good.
should we try starting it?
Where's the big line off the compressor?
Well, it's this one here. It's got a stupid bend to it. I don't know why it goes up like that.
Actually, what we should do is pull that line off.
Yeah, I don't think the lock on this side even works.
I don't know. Let's just let's pull this out first and clean it up.
Okay.
What size do I need? 9/16. There's a plunger in there every once in a while, like it forms a ring on it and doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do.
Well, judging by the state of this, just gonna check the power steering. It's got some plastic lines on these tanks too, but
Yeah.
I wonder if some lines were changed or maybe it had plastic lines in '94.
Well,
But there are some.
yeah.
It's a wonder that someone would put this on and then not use it or take it off.
Which?
This Raycor.
Oh. Because
It's definitely rusty, but I definitely don't think this truck would have lasted very much longer, in my opinion. My unprofessional opinion.
well, hard to say. Who knows? Who knows? What we should do is drag the compressor out and hook it up. I'm gonna pull that up.
It's got... Oh, jeepers. It's got ATF. Doesn't look that bad, although the rubber's being a bugger to go back in. Surprise, surprise. Okay. You think bring the compressor out and see if we can hear where it's leaking? Or try starting it?
Well, let's just let me.
We're gonna let him do his thing. All right, so that's the top of the compressor.
See, this is good. I'm glad we did it. Like this here tends to stick. Like the air from your regulator comes in here, pushes this down, shuts your compressor off. It goes back up, turns the compressor on. Well, sometimes they stick up, sometimes they stick down. And all you have to do is take and clean the crud off this plunger. As you can see, like this one here is actually good. But these will stick. And it's so simple. If you're stuck on the side of the road and this stupid thing sticks, if it keeps building air pressure and won't shut off, it's just this is stuck in here. And it's a simple procedure. Take 2 bolts off, take this off, and grab a chunk of dirt on your finger and rub this until you get it back smooth, because you can use dirt for grinding compound. Get this back smooth, put it back in, put it back on, away you go.
I've got some brake clean that we can wash that up with.
Yeah. But this is good. So now we know it's not the compressor, so it might be your regulator, the reason it's not making air. And I squirted some weasel piss in it to lubricate it, so it might work. So,
of course, being vertical, it might be because you just unscrewed that plastic cap.
Yeah, and if you want to change your air pressure, like, you know, if you want to go, say, from 110 to 120 pounds, you take off that cap, and then you either screw the nut down or up. I can't remember which, but one way.
One way. One way or the other, we're gonna make this Peterbilt run.
In short order.
That's right. Come heck or high water. Look at low and slow. Looks so good. Look at that. Oh. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I changed the bumper out. You know the only problem with that bumper though? Doesn't have a toe pin, which is kind of an issue. Well, it's not an issue until you get stuck. Once you get stuck, then it's a real issue. And since we're sidetracked and Dad's cleaning up that part, let's just go take a look. Let's just go take a look. Because wouldn't it be normal when the kid, you know, buggers off and gets sidetracked while, you know, the father does all the work? No?
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, the reason why I changed this bumper out, well, it's because I have it. And I like the tapered bumper better. I didn't like that other bumper that was on here because, one, it was a Western Star bumper. So if anybody wants a Western Star bumper that's got some extra holes in it, you can have it. I don't want it. So behind here is some toe pins. And of course, this is off of, I think it was actually off of a 567 or something like that. But of course it's got these toe pin holes, which I don't have. I had to drill 4 more holes in it, but the plate's in the right spot, up off the ground, and I'm gonna hang mud flaps off it. And I think, and look at how bad this chrome is. Like, yeah, you can see like lines in it. So that's why we have it, because it was, I didn't even know it just, but whatever. It's good enough for me. I think I'd like to put a 3-plate holder underneath, but I'm going to put my cat mud flaps on. And I think this actually makes it look lower, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Do you like this bumper better? And I am putting front mud flaps on it because, you know, I'm Canadian. That's how we roll. And I got to fix that.
Mud flaps is so you don't run into your own rocks.
I don't know if you guys heard Dad, but he said the reason why you have front mud flaps is so you don't run into your own rocks. Because like I've said, up here, there's 2 types of windshields. Windshields on a new car or truck that are perfect, and a broken one. Because they sand our roads with enough stuff to break them. Oh, a little bit of never sees.
Well, it's just
I've got white assembly grease as well if we want it, but
well,
but never sees on aluminum is probably fine.
it's just for lubrication, that's all.
Lubrication. Yeah, I almost think K2 is in better shape than this thing, as far as corrosion goes.
Well, Yeah.
I mean, this one's better because it, you know, has an engine, has a transmission. It's broken. But like Dad said, if we rip this deck off, which we're going to do, and unbolt the battery box, we should be able to pull the transmission right out through the top.
Well, we can. I know we can. I watched a video of them doing it.
So there you go. YouTube approved.
Well,
Oh, that line's... That looks like that's a hydraulic line. You can tell this thing's been kind of bush fixed, repaired. But there again, run what you brung.
lots of times you don't have a choice. It's either walk or fix it somehow.
True. And this this cab jack is seized. So when I jacked it up, it puts pressure here to pull this out, which flips that back. And I'm assuming, I guess I'm only assuming that it doesn't work. But judging from the fact it seems like it's seized, you know, pretty good guess.
Just don't try it right now.
One on the other side works, so. All right, guys, I went and got the key. Just something I was going to tell you guys about. I have some custom Peterbilt key tags. Now, I don't have a store set up yet. I do have a merch store on Spring tied to YouTube. So if you want a Kenny hoodie or a Low and Slow hoodie, the Low and Slow hoodies, it's just a subtle picture of the truck. But I also have key tags. Now these I have in person, so I don't have them in the store. They are Peterbilt. There's only one king, baby. And but in order to sell these, I've got some black ones with red writing as well. If you want one, they're $10 plus shipping. And I guess I'll have to get you to email me. I'll maybe drop an email in the below, and then you could do an e-transfer, and then I can ship them out. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get a store going because these are, I like key tags. Although the one thing I do like about the black ones is like I already got dirt on this one, so these are good for when it's finished. But anyways, let's carry on. I got key tags on everything. Love them. We're gonna try and start this baby. Start this baby up.
Sure, it's out of gear.
Oh. Well, how do I make sure it's out of gear when it's 10 feet in the air? Light came on, so that's a good sign.
I was thinking later that we should have disconnected the batteries.
Yeah, I thought of that too. I should have done a lot of things. Like I should have cut up all these pallets by now, but I haven't. And you know what I've discovered? Pallets are a proper pain in the butt to cut up. I was cutting, and then I don't know what I did, and my chain came off, and I was like, screw it. I was done for the day. I wonder if I should get the step ladder to get right in there.
Well, I just try it. And takes off across the yard, you'll know it's in gear.
Well, being that we can't get it tear up, I'm pretty sure we're okay. Fire in the hole. Oh, and I got my key stuck.
Just touch the starter. Yeah, I think it's out of gear.
Because it turned. Should I try it?
Yeah.
It's alive! So for the record, that is the first time I've tried this since 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when you did the will and start thing. Maybe I'll just try hit the throttle and see if it does anything. We got oil pressure. Yep. Yeah, throttle's still not working.
It's making air.
It's leaking air?
Making air.
Well, I didn't do that. Hmm. I wonder why it stopped.
I don't know.
Try it again. Oh. Of course, I wonder if it ran out of fuel. But you wouldn't think if it ran out of fuel that it would just stop suddenly like that.
I don't know. I know these new electronics, when they're out of fuel, they're out of fuel. It's not like they cough and sputter, and it might be.
Being that the tanks are full of, I guess we'll pull the filter. See what O-ring. Looks skanky. Do you think I should put new fuel in it? It's got bubbles floating in it. It smells like turpentine.
Yeah, it's old fuel.
Well, I've got a new fuel filter, so it's not a big one though. It's a little one. Like it's the same, well, it looks like it's the same. Fill it with new fuel.
Yeah, try it. What the hell?
And yeah, I would say. Crappy thing is that's a lot of fuel to drain out.
Yep. On both sides.
Unless I block one side off and block one tank off and put fresh fuel in the other, or put, yeah.
Take and pump 20 gallons out and put them in low and slow and burn them, and then pump 20 gallons.
Or hook it up to a jerry can so it draws out of the jerry can.
Yeah.
That's not gonna sit there.
Just put it in the pallet.
This stuff? Oh. There we go. I'll go dispose of this. This is what I should have done before when we started it. Mind you, it started. There we go. This filter is the same, well, it's a smaller filter, but it's the one that the owner's manual said it comes with. And when I say owner's manual, I say the parts guy gave me. So this is probably what was on it when it was brand new. And don't forget the O-ring.
Yeah. Make sure you take the old one off.
Yeah, I did.
Lots of guys don't take the old one off and then put the new one on with a new O-ring. And
Were you able to get it that?
well, there's power to it, I know that.
But is there power from it?
Yeah, well, I pretty much have to go underneath to do that. And then I need a flashlight. And,
I don't know. I'm not confident that this is a...
I'm not either, but what the hell.
I just find it odd that it just shut off.
Unless there's a low oil pressure switch on it.
Well, that's true. And there's oil, well, it showed oil pressure, but the oil pressure, low oil pressure light was on. But where?
See, it's right straight down there. See it?
No, I see a solenoid thing.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh. Oh, below it. Where's the test light? I think I can get in there.
This bolt here.
This bolt.
And then I tested it on the starter to make sure it was working. Start is back here.
Yeah. Power.
There's power to the top.
Yeah, there's power to both sides.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess we tried again and
Try it.
what's the worst that'll happen?
It won't start.
But being that the electronics are half working, and the way it shut off, it makes me feel like it was like a...
Little oil shutdown or something like that.
That's where I wondered about pulling the plugs off the ECM in case... Like pull the plugs off and put some dielectric grease on them.
It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt.
And this solenoid thingy is rusty.
Actually, see if there's any power there. Where's the... I'll turn it on.
Yep. Do it again. Yeah. I heard a click.
I'm going to turn it over. Power there?
No, I've lost it.
There should be power there now.
Turn the key off. I had power, but I don't have power now.
No, because the key's off. How about now?
Okay, now I got... Oh. I had it and then it went away. I tried on this relay down there, I got power, but now I don't have power at the solenoid. And that's why I figured maybe I should pull these plugs off, or attempt to. OBD OBDC3PO plug. All right. Well, guys, when I mucked with these plugs, it started. I had light on the solenoid, and then it started. So I'm thinking I got some dirty plugs. Oh, for Pete's sakes. So I'm gonna pull these apart and put some dielectric grease. Dielectric. There we go. I think this is OBD. And I think there was stuff on it, but it was course, it's all dry because it's a little old. I think this stuff does evaporate. I don't know if a person should let it evaporate first, or
I think I'd let it dry.
I'm gonna go get a towel and give it a wipe off. Oh yeah, that's dry now. Yeah, there is, I mean, I don't see corrosion, I just see like old white grease. So this is truck light corrosion preventative compound. Non-conductive, formulated non-conductive sealant and corrosion preventative, blah, blah, blah. Not a lubricant. Ugh. All right, well, let's give her a go. Did I put this on and off? So it's like a little tree. So that's like a little tree like that. That turn? Oh, there. Let's turn. So it goes there. Okay, I guess.
Try it.
I don't have power here, mind you. I wonder. I guess. Oh, now I got power. It's alive again. I still have power. Yeah, no PSI. Oil pressure, low air. Like, yep, it reads 45 pounds of oil pressure. But if it's building air down there, and it's not registering, maybe we should shut it off and see if we can hear anything. Like if it... See, they're there, but there's not much pressure. We figured out the problem, guys. It's got a hole in the air tank underneath the fuel tank that I can actually stick my fingers into. So maybe I'll crawl under there and show you.
It's going to start raining, so it'd be a good job to do it under the truck. You won't get wet.
Yeah. True story.
Yeah.
True story.
Oh, well.
Clean up my mess.
Actually, have a look under there, because that air tank has to come out to get the transmission out, but I think we should take the transmission out through the top.
Yeah.
Take the deck off and the batteries out of it, and I think it'd be far simpler than pulling the fuel tank off.
Yes.
And we can either use your tractor or my backhoe to pull that transmission out.
Mm-hmm.
You've got forks, so it might work better, but
As long as it can lift a transmission. Well, it could lift those pallets of wood just barely up that high.
Yeah.
But
Well, the other thing is we could just lift the forks up and then use a cumlo.
yeah.
Okay,
Figure
gonna
it
run.
out. Alrighty, thanks for coming out.
See you later.
Now this is an unfortunate thing. Yep. I am.
I'm not.
I am. And it's starting to rain. I better clean up. And then maybe crawl under the truck. And I'll show you that hole. All right, guys. We're scurrying under. It's kind of like we're in a cave. No, we're not. I'm going to show you where this air leak is. Because the good news is I found it. The bad news is it's not easy to get to. Oh, hey, look, under truck. So here, there's my air leak. I can put my hand in it. Oh, what's that? Oh. Sensor wire. Oh, that went right through my mouth. Sorry about that. So there it is. I need a new air tank. I need a lot of things, but look at the frame. It's like right full of sand. It's no frickin' wonder. Frickin' rust. Years and years of dirt just sitting there, which is not good. Not good for business. Crossover line. Feels hard as a rock. You know, I should turn off one of these tanks. Figure out which one. I guess they probably draw off both. Did that light just die? You bugger. Yeah, so they draw off both. What's that up there? Oh, that's just a valve. It looks like it might need a little bit of loving. Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely got to get this deck off. And a transmission. But, anyways, I'm going to try pulling the sucker off. Oh wow, look at that. There's the piece of air tank. I have never... That's bad. This shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. Famous last words. Did bring some croissant wrenches though. Because when in doubt, use a croissant. And get it stuck your first go, Mike. Good job. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. Not. Although, it might be easier to just bust everything off. Maybe I can just wedge it. Maybe I can svedge it. There we go. Don't really want to just bust it off the tank because it's not going to make it any easier. This poor old truck has definitely seen some better days. yeah. There's totally room in here. Oh yeah, this is a good view. South. If you ever wondered what was in the inside of an air tank, now we know.